Today's topic, the child rights. Sometimes it so happens when someone asks you about your childhood, majority of you will definitely give a broad smile because you must have really enjoyed your childhood. But some may not be all that fortunate. But life journey is most of the times is not all that good for majority of the persons who cannot afford. Once one of the noted Nobel laureate mentioned that we are guilty of many errors and faults, but our worst crime is abandoning the children, the neglecting the foundation of life. Many of the things we need can wait, but the child cannot. Right now is the time his bones are being formed, his blood is being made, and his senses are being developed. To him, we cannot answer tomorrow. His name is today. Every child in this country is a asset to the nation, and he has got a right to care, protection, development, enjoyment, so many things. But in a country like ours, where 73% of the children from the rural background, they stay in villages. Only 27% of the urban area, they got all the facilities. The parents are well off. They can afford to provide all the amenities that can be given. And other facilities of good schooling, food, nourishment, everything. But that doesn't happen in case of all. Child right means it's not one kind of only the parents feeding and sending him to some school or this thing. That doesn't end up there. There's got a bundle of rights guaranteed in the Constitution, international providence, and several. And these rights are to be respected by whom? The society. The society has to respond for all these things. Not only the parents. And most of the time the government takes the responsibility of providing the schemes, several schemes under which the food and nourishment is provided, schooling is developed. Today I would like to, instead of telling about the laws, because you all can read and gain the knowledge, but the problems that were faced in this country. Few years back, there was a TV news clipping saying that in a district of Raichur, few children died because of malnutrition. This was noticed by the High Court, and they directed the state government to constitute a committee to look into the matter of malnutrition. Under the chairmanship of one of the senior High Court judge, a committee was constituted, which travelled across all the districts in the state. These Anganwadis and so many other institutions catering to the needs of the villages were formed. And more importantly, it was decided to provide a food and nourishment which is very much required for the children. When we consider the children of the asset of the nation, no doubt the states, not only Karnataka but in other states also, they try to provide good nutrition to the children. but we have not yet achieved the goal. The very question of the right guaranteed, the question of the right to survival. Survival doesn't mean mere vegetative existence. The children are bound to get all the facilities that are provided in the society, irrespective of caste, creed, place of birth, religion, etc., etc. No discrimination can be done. The state shall have to make, and all the rights have been guaranteed in the International Covenant of the Child Rights and even in our Constitution. Article 14, 15, 16 and 21, 24, 47, 39E. Several provisions have been made in the Constitution, but when it comes to implementation, what's happening is to be introspected. No doubt some development has been done, much progress has been done in providing all the amenities to the children. To give a classic example of the right to compulsory education from the age of 6 to 14. What's happening in this country or in the state? 66,200, if I'm right, or the latest this thing, about 7,000 schools are only with a single teacher. I'm not trying to point my fingers at the government or anyone, or I'm not trying to blame the government, but it's a really a pathetic situation. A single teacher teaching from class 1 to class 7. Can you expect what kind of education is expected? That is why the children are being admitted to private schools. But you know the fee structure in those schools. I'm not again trying to find fault with them. But what happens is, what about the fate of 73% of the children who are in the villages? Much hype is being created over the child rights. When they can't be healthy, when they can't be educated properly, when they can't be provided all the facilities that are needed to be given to a citizen of this country, what will be on their fate? These are all the mind-boggling questions that are being posed often. But it still should not be a mirage or a dream, distant dream for us to take care of the children. So my dear friends, I'm here before you to only to enlighten about some of the problems that are being done. My co-speaker can enlighten about what are the legal problems and how they can be in time addressed. But the thing is that the child of today cannot be developed to be a responsible and a productive member of the tomorrow's society unless an environment which is conducive to his social, physical health is assured to him. Every nation developed or developing links its future to the status of the child. Neglecting the children means loss to the society as a whole. If children are deprived of their childhood socially, economically, physically and mentally, the nation gets deprived of the potential human resources of social progress, economic empowerment and peace and order, the social stability and good citizenry. When it comes to the environment, again I am trying to bring it to your kind notice that hardly 29% of the urban children are getting potable water or the good water. to drink. More than 70% of the village children are not getting a potable water or the good quality water. And this leads to so many other diseases, or they can't make them healthy. You must have read in the newspapers some of the water that is being provided in villages, their bones became brittle. They could not lead the healthy life. In the childhood, when they drink that kind of a contaminated water, what will be their fate? And these are all the serious consequences what the children face. He can't be a healthy citizen or a grown-up adult who can be productive for the nation. So many things happen which are not good for the welfare of the country. That is why there are again several problems I told you. The children are the supreme asset of the nation, being greatest gift of humanity. They are ultimate optimism that present day could have for the future. They are to be nurtured, loved and protected. But in rural parts, the parents neglect their children because of their poverty. Because they can't afford to provide their children. How the child rights of those minor children can be protected? That is why, when it comes to poverty, so many schemes have been done by the states to uplift the financial status of the many farmers, but still it has become a distant dream. In order to protect the child rights, because they are all interlinked. If you don't have the financial stability, how they can bring up their children? And another most important, the background story among most of the villages will be the child marriages. In the year 2006, again once the Hon'ble High Court of Karnataka, headed by Justice Chief Justice Justice Kehar and Justice Bopana, constituted a committee under the chairmanship of Justice Shivraj Patil. They submitted a report as to what is happening in this state. Some of the parents they marry away they perform the marriages for children at the age of probably 10 or 11, even sometimes it is below 10. They do not know what is marriage. The consultative committee when they interacted with the several this kind of the children, they came across a small girl by name Siddhamma in Raichur, Gulbarga district. She was hardly 14. She was a widow. She was forced to marry a person because of her father's compulsion. He was a heart patient. Within a year of marriage, her father died. And in another 1 year, her husband died because of the tuberculosis. She had to stay with her mother as a widow. You can imagine the fate of that poor girl. How the child rights of such unprivileged or undernourished of the people can be safeguarded. There are several girls, thousands of girls are like that. Sona, Shivlingam. So there are so many. If you hear their heart-touching stories, you'll be in tears. Luckily, you're all blessed. Your parents have provided everything. There are no reason to think about what exactly how the children are being affected in the state. Each and every, not only student of this prestigious institution, but everywhere have to make the efforts. How best they can create awareness, how the schemes can be provided, how the children can be, how the child rights can be protected. These are all the several aspects to be considered, because in a country like ours, is that we do have a vibrant democracy. You can raise your voice. You can think of providing what best you can do in the life. And there are other problems of the children for not only the education problems. Again, which struck my mind was, for a compulsory education, if the child was admitted to a private school, the government was paying 14,000 rupees to them. What about other expenses? Some schools have insisted for payment for socks, uniform. They are all costly. However, again, how the parents can take care of that. So ultimately, what has happened for the education of children has become a problematic one. No doubt the government has taken up several initiatives, but we are not being able to successfully combat so many problems that have been that have cropped up, despite the best efforts being done by NGOs, schools, colleges. So then another mind-boggling topic would be the child trafficking. How the human rights are being affected. How they are being used in dangerous trade and occupations. Once I had an occasion to participate in a seminar in Hyderabad. One IPS officer by name PM Nair, he is very active in his child trafficking matters. We had an interaction with him, and he was. Some of the children are being smuggled to, illegally transported to the countries where the camel races are played. Small children are being used for camel races. Inhuman. And small children are used for something called pedophilia. You all know what's happening. Because children are misused. They are abused sexually. No doubt, recently some stringent punishments have been proposed for stringent punishment of death for the rape of a child below 12 years. Despite all these warnings or the stringent punishments, still some of us are behaving like wild animals. That is why, my dear friends, there are other problems along from this child trafficking. I could have spoken for hours together regarding the child trafficking and the ill effects of all those things. But because of the constraint of the time, in fact, I must apologize, I came late by 10 minutes here to the function. Next comes the problems of even in urban areas of the construction workers. Their children do not stay for a particular place for a particular time. In Bengaluru and other places, we thought of having a mobile schools for them, collecting the children from all the construction sites. In the mobile school itself, the teacher is to teach them from morning till evening, again drop them back to the construction sites. And the money that was, what the government had planned was, the money contributed by the builders, the persons who constructed the houses, is to contribute 1 or 2% to the total cost of the building. That money was diverted by the government for some other purpose. The State Legal Services Authority filed a writ petition, the High Court, not to divert that amount, because that must be used for the children of the construction workers, for their education, marriage of the children, and for providing all good facilities that can be given to the children. That is why, when it comes to all these internal problems or whatever we find, how best we can treat the children by protecting their rights. They've been struggling for their existence, and in some of the, and I'm sorry to say this, some of the children of the elite class studying in a very highly high standard schools go to pubs, hookah bars. We are not there to protect their it becomes such a, that sends a wrong signal to the society. Because of I don't know whether immaturity or what kind of attraction that you have. It is for us to protect our children, to be away, to keep them away from such habits. Then the POCSO problems, again protection of child rights. Age of the child, even according to the International Covenant and our laws, child below the age of 18. This is somewhat what kind of some attraction. But boys and girls are booked for POCSO. Girls, always the girl child will be a victim. The matters come to court. Sometimes it becomes so mind-boggling thing for the district judiciary and the High Court. Stringent laws are there. In one of the cases before me in the High Court at Dharwad bench, the boy was hardly 18 and the girl was 15. She had come with a child on her laps. The argument submitted before the court was, sir, if you don't grant the bail, the minors, that victim's mother, parents will not allow, even the father-in-law also will not allow. Where the your child has to go. These very rarest of the rare kind of problems crop up. If you don't, you just imagine, if you follow the law strictly, or doing something justice is always different from what you read in the law statute books. That is why we need some kind of creating awareness. Some children do not know the consequences of what they are doing. And there are so many other problems which are faced by the children. Once, as I told you, once when I had gone to Hyderabad, one member from Bachpan Bachao Andolan had come. He was telling a story of, this is in Bihar or Himachal Pradesh. They rescued around 15 to 20 persons working in a stone quarry. They had some 8 to 10 small infant children. When the Bachpan Bachao Andolan team rescued them, immediately they, as a matter of good gesture, they gave them bananas. The children started eating bananas without peeling them. The children did not even know how the bananas shall to be consumed. This was the real state, the sorry state of affairs that faced a few years back. It is really a pathetic story. But still then, the effects, there are so many good schemes. Midday meal scheme is there to provide nutritious food. Education also, the government schemes are there. It should be a movement with the people's cooperation. Then only it can be successfully managed and the goals can be achieved. And sometimes some incident, again I told you, in a juvenile justice problems. Without knowing the consequences, they do something. Few years back when I visited a remand home, one boy, a delinquent, a youngster, was brought back from a Tumkur court and it was reported that he was drunk. Who prompted him to drink or who gave the facility for him to drink? And we have to pass the orders directing the concerned social welfare department or this thing to take strict measures. So these are all endless stories. I do not wish to make a long speech. Dear friends, this is nearly most ideal of the national seminar that's being arranged by this institution. Really thankful to Subramania and staff who have done a wonderful arrangements and to have a better interaction, because some experiences you find straight from horse's mouth, what you call, which you don't read in any books. Let this seminar be successful by the interaction of all those who have contributed or who are going to make the or participate in a meaningful way, which the seminar is very successful. I thank the organizers for giving me the opportunity to speak a few words before you. Thank you. Thank you, Madam.